Chookman and Hogan here, down at his favourite park, getting his exercise. Wow, it's gone from being stinking hot to a nice day today. There's a little bit of wind hanging around, but these bushfires are everywhere. Apparently they're in Werribee, they're in Geelong, they're everywhere. They're up the bush. It's really sad. Those poor people have lost their house. My condolences go out to you guys. But look at this grass, you don't have to be up the bush to see long grass. I'm in a park in Bundoora, and look at the long grass, you know what I mean? Like, you'd think the cancer would get up, if that went up, that would just be atrocious. All the animals that get hurt in the bushfires. If I was well enough, I'd go and help the fire brigade fight the fires, but I've got a lot of health issues at the moment, and it's not an excuse. I'd love to help people put back into society. As I said the other day, it's not what I can get out of society, it's what I can put back into society. People say to me, you've got good morals. Well, you have to have good morals these days, guys. You can't go around hating the whole world just because a couple of people damaged you when you were young. I don't hate the world. I love the world at the moment, But when you see these bushfires, it's pretty bad, Look at this, guys. There's a pile of wood here, right? If that went up in flames, imagine the damage it'd do. All the wildlife would... See, look at that. That's bad. They could give unemployed people like myself a whippersnipper, right? And give us an area. I'm on a disability pension. I don't mind doing this. Give us an area like that and say, right, go to town and clean it up, right? That's the least we could do for this country. You know what I mean? But they don't think of that, you know what I mean? Like, you could just give me a whippersnipper, drop me off and say, I want all that whippersnipped, I want all the wood picked up in a pile so it can be carted away. There's that many people unemployed at the moment that wouldn't mind putting a bit of hard work in. You could get over hundreds of people volunteer to come down here. As long as your government gives us the tools, we could come down here and clean this up, because it only takes a lightning strike to hit that pile of wood and we're all in big shit. Then it goes up. Houses get burnt down, wildlife get injured, they get burnt alive. Do you know what I mean? There's so much we could do for this country, but the government, again, it's not politically correct to mention the government. As soon as you mention the government, they close you down. But, look at it, the long grass. Like, it's okay here. The park's been maintained. But what about the edges along here? Look how... That's dangerous. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, I think you get my drift. I'd be quite happy to stay here all day and whippersnip that grass and clean it all up and make sure that it's fire, so it doesn't, fire danger, You could put, like, in that one spot, here we go again, you could put one person to do all that, one in the middle and one in the end, and that'd be done in one day, and you wouldn't have to worry about if a fire went through. But, this government's too slack to pull their finger out. They wait until a bushfire happens, and then they say, oh, we better do something. Elbow, whatever your name is, if you want people to like you, start pulling your finger out and doing things for the country, Now you'll see all the wildlife, especially the birds, come to town because most of the country's on fire, and they're not going to hang around where the fire is. People, as soon as people see cockies and galahs, and they say, oh, we don't want them here. Well, I'm sorry, but the poor birds have got nowhere else to go. Anyway, that's my bitch about these, how we could tidy up Australia, you know what I mean? And people say, well, would you do it, Chook Man? Yeah, I would. Give me a whippersnipper, give me heaps of petrol, and I'll go and whippersnip all this and cut it all down. You know, I can't believe they can go to all this trouble of mowing this football oval here, but they can't clean all this mess up here, you know. Like, you know, what are they waiting for? Anyway, it is what it is, I suppose. Alright, take care and look after your mental health. It's bye from me and bye from Hogan at his favourite park today. Come on, Hoax, let's go.